I'm guessing some of you have already noticed, maybe all of you, that our messages are validation messages. So as an example, if I go in here, I know, and this is for 13, I know just by hitting submit that on the form I get validation errors. Okay, so, and those make sense based on the coding that I've done. But let's say, for an example, that I put here, okay? What should happen now is when I hit calculate, it still is invalid, but the messages here, this should have been gone. These other ones, because they're still invalid, make sense. But this one does not. So the challenge that we're going to have for this 3.1 is actually to go through a process to code a function and then also where to call that function. So let me go over the challenge. I just wanted to describe it so that you know what I'm referring to. Okay, so we're going to have two parts. So I'll go over this one and then you'll do a commit message for your challenge for this one. So you're going to create a new function, clear message, clear error messages. It'll be in your app.js. You define it, okay, a complete, and again, the named arrow function, and you're going to implement cleanup for all spans. So in the function, implement the necessary DOM manipulation to completely hide and empty the text content of all error messages. And this just gives you a few examples. Okay, so now what should come out of this, we haven't implemented it yet, but is a reusable function that when called resets the entire error system. Okay, so this is your first challenge, do this one. Okay, so now your second one, do your commit. Remember, now that we're doing these code challenges, these commits are really how I grade your work. Now, on the second one, now you're going to implement placement. Where would you call this to ensure that error messages displayed from previous attempts are wiped out? Okay, and also ensure that this cleanup is called on a central application state function, because we have that. So where would you place this call? Okay, so that'll be part of it. How do you place it? And the second thing will be now to error visibility, the fix, right? Go through all 11 existing if blocks in the validate, and for each one where you currently set text content, right, valid, you immediately follow with something that makes the span visible. Okay, so because up here we basically are doing, clearing it. And how do we do that? And then here we're going to make sure it is visible. So this is the toggle, the back and forth. Okay, so if you're successful here, right, when the user submits valid data, any old errors are cleared out at the start and the submission proceeds. Failed submissions, when a user submits an invalid data, all old data is cleared and only new ones and error messages displayed correctly beneath the corresponding inputs, preventing the form from submitting. Okay, so this is what I was starting with today, is showing you that it needs to do that. So on successful submission, where would you have it? And then on failed submission, where would you have it? And then also code this line in the validate form. Okay, so that's your challenge for this one. Boom, my attempt at part 2. And then what I will do, now again, you'll submit your commit history, right? Now when I say your commit messages here, what I'm looking at is, I've given you 2 commit messages. Do I see you made valid effort to get those done? And then working code, so even if it doesn't do what you think the challenge is, make sure that it's error-free, okay? And then give me your commit history for this one. And then what will happen is then the next one, like we've been doing, will be the solution, and then you can update your code as and if needed. All right, I'll see you on the next one.